morning, everyone. I'm so glad to meet you all. Today, I'm hosting Success Talk Show. I'm Shin Crowd Master. I'm so glad to meet you all, and I see people from overseas. It's late in the evening, at night, but still, you're all here. You haven't left, so I think you will become successful for sure. Also, you may look forward to today's talk show with Mongsang. We have panels members too, and we want to say hello.
First Chairman Gwang-yeol, brand of Atomy, captain of Atomy. Great, he truly has huge popularity. And we have two successful leaders from Atomy, Imperial Master Kim-Kwang-yeol. Next, we have Crown Master 박미영. I'm really looking forward to this success talk show. Let's listen to the updates from the panelists. Maybe we can listen to their greetings. Great. Hello everyone, I'm Imperial Master Kim Kwang-yeol. This summer has been really hot, right? And I was really busy this summer, and most of the time I was kind of hanging out. And still, I could earn a lot of money. Let's have a look how I spent my summer in July. Oh, this picture is from LA in the US. From Seattle, I visited LA, Houston, Orlando, Atlanta. I visited 6 cities in the States. I gave lectures. Now, on every corner of the United States, there are Atomy products. We don't have a huge number of Atomy members compared to last year, but when I visited this time, I could see that many Atomy products are all over the US. I think US market has really huge potential. And in July, I went cycling in the Alps. This is the mountainous area in the Alps. Isn't it really amazing, fascinating? I was there for about 13 days. So I couldn't think of anything else. I was just immersed in the nature. And I could realize that I'm a truly successful leader without worrying about the money, without worrying about work. I just enjoyed and spent my time as a successful leader. You must be envy me, right? Maybe in 5 years, if it's fast, or maybe in 10 years, I think this will be your life as well. Do you envy me? Then you can also become the Imperial Master. Yeah, I do envy you. What about Crown Master Bakmi-young? Hello, I'm Crown Master Bakmi-young. I love traveling. And before Atomy, I couldn't travel a lot, but now I'm working and traveling. Every month I go abroad, and recently in August I've been to Canada. Starting from Toronto, I went to Calgary and Vancouver. And this time in Vancouver, I went to the Suspension Bridge. This is really a famous bridge there, and I visited the bridge. The scenery was so beautiful. So working and traveling at the same time. So that's what Atomy business is about. When you travel, it's your work, and when you work, it's traveling. So I really enjoyed the time there. Great. So maybe I need to share what I was doing. I wanted to be a model, so I took some pictures. Please have a look at the pictures. What do you think? Is it nice? Yeah, thank you. And not only that, once a month I'm going abroad. And it was really fun and interesting. This is the picture from Japan. I was dancing there. And in Indonesia, I was dancing. And all the people in Indonesia stood up and we danced all together. So that's what I've been doing in the last summer. Chairman, what do you think about that? To look at these successful leaders, I also envy you. I also want to be a business member. With these successful leaders, we have the Success Talk Show. Maybe you want to listen to their know-hows of success. So let's move on to the first question. So when I listen to the seminar, I have this confidence, I can do this. But when I go back to my daily life, I lose my confidence. How can I maintain this confidence to be successful with Atomy business? I really relate to this question. At first, it was really difficult for me to talk about Atomy to other people. But whenever I listened to the seminar, I was fully motivated. But when I get rejected, I was feeling down again. So I was concerned and worried whether to continue to do this business or not. But I never stopped. And it was thanks to the seminar that I didn't give up. So, Crown Master Pangmian, what do you think about this question? I was never like that, actually, because, I'm really easily convinced by other people. So the first time I listened to the chairman's lecture, I thought this will work. And I listened about the marketing plan from the sponsor, and I thought, oh, not only me, but everyone can be successful with this. So I was always confident about the success, but most of the people lose confidence. And one of them is my elder sister. I asked my sister to do this business, and she said okay because she's easily persuaded by other people. But she had difficulty meeting people. But whenever she goes to meet people, she lost the confidence and she decided not to do the business. And 3 years passed, and I was in lawyer master club and I was making a lot of money, and she also wanted that money. So what I suggested is don't think about meeting people, just let's go to the seminar together every Thursday. And my sister was like, my sister was a nurse and she took the Atomy product in her bag. And I asked her why. I will put it in the hospital, and when someone asks me about it, I will talk about Atomy to that person. No one would ask you about it. You first need to reach out to the people, and it's a good product, but she couldn't do that. So she began coming to seminar every week on Thursday, and after 3 months, it changed her thoughts. And when whoever person that she meets every day, she was talking about Atomy to them. If you change your idea and thoughts, it will change your behaviors. Then it will change your habits and then your life. So it's really important to change your thoughts, and this is where this happens, the seminar. So I believe coming to the seminar is really important. Thank you for the clear answer. This morning, our chairman gave a lecture about the probability to be successful, and I look back on myself. When I first started Atomy business, what was the possibility of me to be successful? How many percentage? It was 0.001%. The possibility for me to be successful was 0.001%. So almost impossible. So you're looking at the miracle in person. So if you really knew me in the past, it's truly a miracle that I become successful. Maybe you think I'm a great person now, but back then I was so poor. Had bad credit rating. I had like 600 million that. And I failed so many times, so I lost all the energy. But as I live my life, the most difficult time was, do you know what was the most challenging time for me? It was not when I failed. I lost all the hope. That's when it was the most difficult for me. I couldn't even have any dream. As I failed, I felt like it will be the same in the future. In 5 years, in 10 years, it will be just the same. I couldn't see the light, but thanks to the seminar of Atomy, I heard that I can also become successful. You can be successful too. You too can be successful. I heard that from the seminar. The probability to be successful is too low, but this message that even I can be successful, that really comforted me and it excited me. So in reality, I was struggling so much, but when I heard the message that I can be successful, it really impressed me and touched me. That's how I could continue to work, and I made up my mind. And in the morning, the chairman said we need to go for number one. So I wanted to be the number one. But there's nothing I can be number one in. So I should be number one in what? So I thought that maybe I could be the number one participant for the seminar. Maybe I could be the first number one person to come to the office. And maybe I can be the one who works the latest. And that's what I started with. And it was not just temporary thing. I did that for 5 years. I was always the first person, the person who is coming to the seminar the most. So people who didn't know about me could see that. So I garnered this energy for success. And it's not only me who became successful, all family members of mine got successful. Kimsa Crown Master, you know him, right? He's my brother-in-law, and he used to work at a signboard shop, and when I said I'm doing Atomy business, he was against it very strongly. He was against the MLM business. The whole family got bankrupt because of the MLM business. Why are you doing this again? He blamed me, but still I sold the products to him and I kept on doing Atomy business. And as I was working so hard, I started to earn some money. And he saw me earning some money and he started to do some business like for a few months, and if it gets difficult he went away again, and after a few months he came back again and then he ran away. The third time he came to me, he said maybe I should do this Atomy business. And what did I say to him? I said, no, you don't need to, don't do it. Just go to your office making the signboards. But if you truly want to do Atomy business, then sell the car where you are delivering the signboards with. Then I will make you do the Atomy business. And he was thinking about this for 3 days. And he sold the car that he was using for his work and he made up his mind. And now he's the crown master. So many people like him are here today, I think. You're not really into Atomy business, but you're not really out of Atomy business as well. And this week we had Chuseok holiday and it's raining today. But why are you here? Why are you sitting here until late this evening? I believe you saw the vision in Atomy. Then what should you do? What are you going to do? You should become the Imperial Master. You need to change your thoughts. I hope you make some resolution tonight. Thank you.
So the number one principle from chairman has been copied to him, I think. What do you think, chairman? When I first saw him, he didn't really look good. He didn't really look well. And Imperial Master Kim Sung-il and he are friends, I heard. So it was his introduction to Atomy. And to Kim Sung-il was way ahead, I think, 2 to 3 masterships ahead. And he was always saying to Imperial Master Kim Sung-il that I'm going to exceed you. Kim Sung-il would say he's better, but he had his reasons. Kim Sung-il was so proud of himself, and when he was a surrogate driver, working as a surrogate driver, the surrogate driver agency was run by him. And Kim Sung-il was the employee. So they were always competing against each other, I guess. And every time he's saying to Imperial Master Kim Sung-il that I'm going to be better than you. So in my mind, I was thinking, how is he saying that to Imperial Master Kim Sung-il? Because what I'm saying is true, everyone, because his words became true. They're on the same levels now, same mastership, Imperial Master. Last week, former Prime Minister Jeong Un-chan, he is from the city of Gongju, our headquarters. So it was a co-growth forum that we talked about, and he was thinking maybe invite a successful person from Gongju to talk about, to make a speech. And the title was to have chicken and beer with successful people, successful guys from the neighborhood. That was the title. So we had a talk, and a young man came to me asked me that he wants to go global. And going global is risky, he asked. What did I say to him? Going global is risky, you're saying. Why is that? For example, we go to the US, Russia, China. It is risky only because you don't know the US, Russia, and China. That is why it's risky. You haven't even gone to the country yet. You don't know what people there like and the purchase power, etc. You don't know anything about the country. That is why you're telling me that it's risky. So I told this young man to study American history, American books, and travel across America, use accommodations in the country, study America. And the risks of going to America or entering into American markets will be gone. Making an Imperial Master at Atomy. Maybe if you think it's impossible, it's risky. because when you don't know it, it could be risky. That is why I'm telling you, you have to study Atomy. If so, you don't have to be confused. I'm meeting this person the first time, and I'm not used to talking to strangers. But also, I think the reason of being fearful is you haven't studied Atomy sufficiently. If you have studied Atomy sufficiently, it's the principle of becoming number one and top 100 logistics company, distribution company, and at Absolute Cosmetics products are number one in Korea. So you have things that you can talk about if you know Atomy. But people are complaining that I'm not used to talking to strangers. It's not I'm not fit for Atomy business, you're saying. I wasn't born as a chairman. After over the age of 50, I started Atomy, and before that, as an entrepreneur, I wasn't really good at researching, but I did a lot of research. If you want to run a company, you have to know about companies. First of all, you have to learn about Korean large companies, at least. I know many about it, many about the large companies. How? I read a lot of books. For example, Hanjin Group, Hanjin Express, Hanjin Shipping, and the Korean Air, KL. So the company is now all across the country. And Chairman Cho started the company. And during the Korean War, there was Incheon landing operation, and that is how the Korean Peninsula was cut in half. And North Korean armies were not able to come down. They became communist guerrillas. Therefore, from Incheon to Yongsan, there should be deliveries and shippings. Delivery of goods, and there were a lot of guerrilla operations during the process. So not many people would be willing to do that job. And that is how Chairman Cho entered this business during that period. And then Vietnamese War broke out. In Da Nang, there are the goods delivered, and that delivery was done by Chairman Cho. And who drove the truck? The reservists. And even Viet Congs worked as drivers. That is how American goods and materials were delivered. And he earned a handsome lot of money. And he took a look at the container. There were Burke ships back then, and he looked at the containers, and that is how he founded Hanjin Shipping, and now it's Hanjin Group. And then President Park Chung-hee called him, saying, "You have a lot of cash from the Vietnamese War. We are in the red. Our country is in the red, so you should assume this role." And it used to be a a state-run enterprise, and he assumed this job, and now it has become a very large group in this country. The founder Kim Jong-in of another company that I want to take as an example. Then President Park Chung-hee ordered the establishment of gunpowder, and it's used also for building express roads and highways. So the chairman assumed the role of manufacturing gunpowder at low prices. And we have another big ice cream company, 빙그레, gunpowder company, and ice cream maker. There's no connection between the two. What is the connection? It's not something that pops up all of a sudden. Actually, there's a connection. There were a lot of milk cows coming into our country, ending up in agricultural areas, and there were too many. Rather, Korean people were not used to drinking cow milk. So, and milk doesn't have long shelf date. So there was a lot of milk left. It was excess supply. So the ranch owners were putting milk on the asphalt, making a protest. So in order to consume milk, maybe we can manufacture ice cream and just store them in the ice tank. That is how the ice cream business started. There is a hotel called Plaza next to Seoul Station. It's owned by Hanwha Group. There are a lot of foreign buyers visiting Korea, and they're all going to Joseon Hotel. Everyone is staying at Joseon Hotel. We need another hotel. So the chairman rejected then president's request. So the chairman suggested a condition, saying that only legal couples can stay there. So if there is any affairs, they cannot stay. So they have to prove they're legally married to be able to stay at the hotel. How about we stop here for this question? We have much to talk about foreign companies as well. So to be an entrepreneur, Hyundai automobile, and how did it become successful, and Pony Jeong's roles. I studied foreign companies too, including Matsushita, a Japanese company. Matsushita Kurosuke was the father of 1 million laborers. There's this book titled like that. And it was very impressive for me to read that book. And the family management that exists in Japan, I was able to learn many things about it by reading the book. And the Matsushita brand, it's Panasonic, and they are both electronics companies, and they manufactured similar goods, then why did they run two companies like that? It was even before the current popular Japanese brands were born. Panasonic didn't have a competitor, the employees are not passionate enough, so another company was established, manufacturing and selling the same goods to create a fierce competition. And this chairman didn't care about one of the two failing from the competition, but the result, both of them were successful. The electric construction operator was his job, and the electricity caught fires too. So that is why the backlights were established or created. The plastic material was heated to make sockets, manufacture sockets and other goods, and it became a hit, and it became more and more successful. And that is how the company started.
You know the double socket from the past? Next to the big light bulb, there is the tiny red light bulb, and if you pull it, it will light up. And this tiny light bulb plays the key role because, back then you had the toilet inside the room, and if you put the light on when you go to sleep, you need to pay a lot for the electricity. But if you have this little light on during the nighttime, you will not put your feet in the toilet during the nighttime. And it's the chairman Masashida who invented this double socket light bulb. So to found the company, I studied how other founders made their company. You know GM? You know how GM was founded? General Electric. You know this company? You know what happened to this company? I know the whole history of this company. So in the US, when we say GE, they say it's Edison who started the company, but that's half right and half wrong. And in each city, there was illumination company, the electricity company, who was making electricity from the power plant. So in each city, there was electricity company, and one of the companies were made by Edison to sell the electricity in the city. There was the power company back then. In Detroit Museum, when you visit there, there's the power generator made by the Edison. And there was this young guy to operate the power generator in each city, and if the generator goes out of the order, then the power is shut down. So he came up with this idea to make the whole electricity network for the nation, General Electric, and he gave out the share of the company so that the shareholder can get the dividends. So he made this big electricity grid. So even if a city is out of electricity, other cities' network can provide the electricity. So in Korea, let's say in one city, the transmission tower is collapsed, but still it doesn't go blackout because other transmission tower can get electricity from other grid. So General Electric made this the whole electricity grid in the nation. And what about GM is General Motors? There were many different automobile companies in the US back then. So every company was making their own engines and other parts, and there was this young guy to integrate all these different automobile companies and distribute the shares and to use one integrated chassis. And Ford was not included because it was already a large corporation. And so all these automobile companies were integrated to found General Motors. So it became one of the global companies. So before I started Atomy, I studied all these companies. I mean, I was not a smart boy at school. I was not good at the exams. I was thinking like, why should I take this exam? And I didn't get good score, but still I studied. What do I mean by this? You need to study about atomy. And if you do so, you will see that, oh, I'm sure I will be successful with this business. But since you didn't study enough about atomy, sometimes you will think like, oh, maybe I will be successful. But when you are alone at home, you think like, oh, I cannot be successful. It's because you didn't study enough. So if you are here for the first time, I didn't tell them to study because I know they will not listen to me. But I saw that one of the members has PhD in psychology. I think she was the daughter of some atomy leader. But those are really bright people. So if they decide to study, they will really do great. Maybe I can tell you all the history of all the big corporations in Korea, including SK. So I have all this information in my head. How these big companies started small and grew large. So even in the small office, I dreamed of making Atomy a global company to become the hub of distribution. That's why I could declare such vision. I already had this path in my head. Maybe I should continue to tell this story to you today. It's really amazing that you are studying continuously. If you talk about other companies, maybe we need to stay here all night long. So now let's move on to the second question. Go 100 campaign. What would be the motivation to continue to do this Go 100 campaign? Crown Master 박미영. I'm not really a person who got successful through cold contact. And one day the chairman talked about Go 100 campaign. Sorry, but actually in my mind, I was thinking like, did you do this yourself? Meeting 100 people is never easy. So I didn't really believe in it. And the next week, the chairman talked about this again, and I thought, maybe I should at least try doing this before I complain. So I just decided to do this. So with my partners, we did the Go 100 campaign. Let's try this. So with the leaflets, I told my partners how to do this and we tried this and it worked. 100 people. It doesn't take one day. It only takes 3 hours. So I reflected on myself and thought, oh, this really works. So Go 100 campaign. You know, I'm doing this business for the last 15 years and there was pandemic in the process, and there are quite a lot of partners that I spent a lot of time together, and those people, they don't have any new people to meet. So for those people, it became a huge motivation for them. So they are not doing this alone. There's like partner for them. So two people are going together and there are a lot of people supporting them. So they don't say, oh, I don't have any people to meet. No, we have Go 100 campaign. Let's take the leaflets and go out and meet 100 people. So sponsors and partners are doing this together. So this is becoming a great energy and motivation. So if we are doing this together, I believe this can be the big motivation for all of you. Chairman, you tried this yourself, right? I never expected that Crowdmaster Bang Miyoung would think like that. I thought she totally believed in me and followed me. I was doing this in a more tough version. So, when I first started MLM business, when I didn't know anything about this, reach out to a new person. I was afraid to do that, so I learned how to do some massages with my wife, and so I'm quite a good massager. When you do the lifting, you can practice this on your knees. So I was suggesting people to do masses. Maybe I can let people experience this. So I put all these things in other people's house, in the elevator, all the houses at the apartment building. And as I was doing that, when someone comes up from the door, I was like surprised to see the person because, it was the first time for me to do that. And I was afraid of meeting new people. And while doing so, sometimes some people call me, and my wife was doing the massage, and it was too slow actually. And I can sell the products, but the person will not learn the masses from me. So I thought, oh, this will not work. So I abandoned this method. So when you do masses, you should let people to do it themselves. You don't need to do that for the person. So if you are doing the masses for the person, that person will not try to learn from you. So I thought this will not really work. Of course, it would be better than not doing anything. So the next thing I tried is that meeting 10 people a day and explain the vision, the company, and the business. So show the plan about the business, the company, commission, product, and my vision. So I explained these four things, and I did that to 10 people every day. If I don't do this, I will not come back home. That was my goal. So to do this to 10 people, how many people do you need to meet? It's usually more than 100 people because when you try to reach out to 100 people, most of them just say, oh, I'm busy, next time. So in some cases, I make 10 people even before I meet 100 people, but actually you need to meet like 2 to 300 people to be able to explain these four things to 10 people. I think it was like November, and I made it to 9 people, and it was already past 10 p.m. And I made up my mind not to go back home if I don't meet 10 people. So I still had one more person to go. And from my list, there was kind of one of the person on the blacklist that I don't really want to reach out to. There was one of my friends whom I really didn't want to reach out. But anyway, I managed to go to friend's house and I didn't really want to call him. But still, I had to meet 10 people a day before I went back home. And you know, this guy, I was sure that he would really reject me and say bad things to me. And I was in front of his apartment building and the playground. I was sitting on the swing. So I said I'm not going to go back home until I meet 10 people, but I don't want to meet this person, so I'll just stay here. And it was November, so my shoulder was getting too cold, and I felt pain all over my body. So I thought it would be just better to call him. And are you sleeping? No, I was just about to go to bed. So come out. I'm in front of your house. I'm sitting at this swing. Okay, and he came out, and I talked about something else to the friend for about half an hour because if I talk about MLM business, I was afraid that he would say bad things to me. So he was asking, why did you call me out after 30 minutes?
Why did you call me? So I had no choice but to talk about how I started my business and expecting a bomb. So, multi-level marketing, you mean? He said. And the reaction was something that I didn't expect. What kind of products are you selling? Cosmetics product. Give me some of them. I can let my wife use the product. And I'll pay you tomorrow, he said. So that is when I realized it's all based on the person's hurt. It's decided by the individual. That is how I realized the principle of following your hurt. So anything you want, it depends on your own hurt. And whether or not I want to talk about it is also based on my hurt. So I have to follow my hurt. That's how I realized it. So what I am asking you to follow this goal of meeting 100 people, it could feel a little difficult. So HemoHIM, absolute, atomy, maybe you can just spit out these keywords and make it 100 people. That is the basic principle of Go 100. And some of the 100 people will be interested. Most of the people that I meet these days are aware of Atomy. So I go on and talk about Atomy, and this person would ask me, what is your mastership? Do you run Atomy business? Then I answer, I am the chairman. Wow, I figured. Are you really the chairman? They're really taken aback. And once I was riding a bike and I met the former army chief of staff. So I said hi to this general, and he was saying to me that his wife was joining the Slim Body Challenge. Actually, so she was saying that her husband is consuming he's eating the products, and the wife of the former chief of staff, the army chief of staff, is already using the products. So nowadays, Atomy is very popular. They maybe some of the people, common people, ordinary people, don't even know they're using Atomy products, but they're using Atomy products without notice. So you can introduce Atomy to those kinds of people. I was so focused on listening to what he said. Don't you think our chairman is so amazing? Look at his fingers. He's really fast when he moves his hands. How about you? Imperial Master Kim Gwang-yeol. Actually, I think I am the starting point of Go 100 because for me, at the beginning of my business, it was 300 people. Why did I meet them? Because it was my struggle. It was the struggle for my life. I wanted to be a good father to my children. I want to be a good husband to my wife. I wanted to be a good child to my parents. However, there was nothing I could do. I saw the vision during the seminars, and I got confirmation for myself that I could. And those struggles made me a professional, made me an expert. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days passed. I was able to speak for myself, speak for the products very well. And I was able to talk to anybody, literally anybody, about the products. And perhaps if I was asked to do this for my whole life, I wouldn't have been able to do that. And how many days did I do 300 people? It was less than a month. It was only about a month. Still, I compared myself to people who visit Atomy. Those were the same people that saw the vision just like me, but they were not going 300, they were going one person, 2 people. So 6 months of work for other people, I did it in a short period of time. 6 months of work, I did it in 1 day. And then I found myself a good father, becoming a good father, a good child, a good husband. Very fast. It was very fast for me. To be honest, when we were starting Success Academy, back then, we started at this hour. You look tired already, but back then, during my days, at the beginning of Atomy, it was only the beginning hour. And there were a lot of precious words given by chairman. One of them was to be conscious and conscientious. If Atomy products, if you don't think they are good quality, don't even speak it. Don't even talk about it. If you really feel the worth of the product, then you're allowed to talk. But I totally loved Atomy product. From my 20s, I was running business all my life. So I had my own sense for running a business. And I got the feeling that it could work at me. Business could work. That is how I went on to meet 300 people. And what about my mouth? The words that I give. When I visit the US and American regions, I'm very popular. What do I do there? I shout out, open your store. What is your store? It's your mouth. You open your mouth. That means you can open your store. So open your store. It's very easy. You don't have to pay expensive rent, electricity bills. You don't have to open a physical store when you have your mouth. And everybody was giving me an applause. Open your store, I shouted. I cannot even speak English very well. So, anyways, our business is not about opening for our whole life. We already know so well how good Atomy products are and how reasonable Atomy prices are. This is what you are going to say to people. Is it difficult? No. And up until now, at this late hour, you are a parent, you are a husband, you are a child, but you're sitting there. So you already decided to be here anyway. Then you have to be successful. Think this way, alright? You don't have to give me a big hand. Don't try to give me a hand. You sit here at this table. You can sit here at this table. You be conscientious. You open your store. Opening my store has become an everyday life because I did my foundation job, and then my eyes are bigger, wider. I have my eye for discerning and separating the partners and customers. And I can even feel what mastership the person has without asking them about it. And sometimes I see Imperial Master. This person would become Imperial Master. I can see, I can feel it now. Atomy is there, and you are already prepared to do that. What do you want? If you choose the path, move on. Move toward your target. Be successful, everyone. It was a very impressive answer. How about you, Chairman Park? Any comment? So for only 1 month he did go 100. I think there is confusion sometimes. Some people think that they have to go 100 for their whole life. So I will give you the criteria. So at first you have to make the list. It's not about listing up the people that will do the business. It's about listing up the people that you want to deliver the message and information to. And there's the list, and nobody wants to do that. And then people get confused and they're frustrated. They want to give up. So what do? We try to meet strangers. So at first, at the beginning of the business, if you have a lot of connections, you don't have to try so much. You can use your own existing connections. So think of Imperial Kim Kwang-yeol. He has a lot of family members. I think he has 50 family members and relatives within Atomy Mastership. No, it's actually not me. It's actually Scrum Master 신정임. Oh, okay. How about you? Who is the highest? Crown Master. 4 Crown Masters in our family tree. How about Royal Masters? There are quite many. I'm not sure about how how many exactly. So maybe there will be maybe 20 Royal Masters in there in her family tree. How about the number of people in Leaders Club? Maybe it's hard to count from now on, from that level on. So, all right, if you have such many connections, you don't have to do Go 100. And when you're starting your business, how about so why did Imperial Master Kim Kwang-yeol just did Go 100 for 1 month? He was so busy. He didn't have any time to do cold contact because he was so busy with introducing the products. It's not like just letting them be and everything will just go smoothly. It's not that. So we are starting with warm contact, as many as you can. And people, your relatives and friends from school, friends from the old neighborhood. And for example, you can have many people in the group, within the group. If you have so many people like that, you don't have to go 100, do Go 100. But still, you have to do it. Why?
So among your partners, they say, "Oh, I made my list and I contacted them, but I have no more people to contact." And what should you do? So with the list of the sponsor, you cannot make many people be successful. So to make your partner successful, you need to use the list of your partner and make them successful. They will be partners of that partner, and with the list of those partners can make them successful. So number one is to check whether they made their own list of 250 people and whether they contacted all those people from the list. And let's say no one is doing business. Then you do the Go 100 together with the partner. And why are you doing this? To put more people on your list as the potential business member. So your list should be the focus in your business. So the list should be your focus and contact all the people on your list. And if you're out of people, then you go for Go 100. And let's say you have one potential customer and you put that person on your list and keep contacting the person. Talk about the product, talk about the business, invite the person to the seminar. You should keep doing that. So meet 100 people, and if you can only add one person to your list, you can continue to do the business. So you should first understand the basic of Go 100, why we are doing this. It's really important. Let me summarize. First, you have this potential list of consumers of 250 people, and you deliver the information about your business to all these people. So people who are interested will come to you, and there will be some people who totally reject you and abandon you. And let's say you lost all these 250 people, and that's not where you give up. That's when you need to go for the Go 100 campaign and keep adding to your list. And if your partner says, "Oh, I'm out of people on my list," then you do the Go 100 together with the partner and add people to the list. And based on that list, you do the contact and nurture the people as business members. And that's why we are doing Go 100. So he gave the clarification on why we are doing Go 100. So let's move on to question number 3. I heard that Chairman, you were doing the product lecture by yourself. So any know how to do give a good lecture on product? I want to be more confident to talk about products to other people. You know, our vice president, he's really a doctor, and he's giving a really great explanation. And today we listened from the researcher, and he talked about his academy journals, the research papers. So, you know, I'm not really a smart person. So now I'm not giving the product explanation on my own, but before these people were in Atomy, I had to do this by myself, and I was quite good at it. I showed Mr. Yoon the video that I took back then, and any problem in terms of the medical, and he said, "Oh, really, you did a good job. It's really amazing." So this means that I studied a lot about the product, about HemoHIM, and one day Dr. Jo Sung-gil asked me, how would you explain immunity? Because he's the expert in immunity. He said he can explain what immunity means in front of the graduate school students, but he has no idea how to explain the concept to the ordinary people in the neighborhood, like old women. So I sent a video how I explain about immunity, and he was amazed at my lecture. So studying about theory is not enough, but I experience myself a lot. Even now, I believe I'm the one who is using the Atomy products the most. I think I consume HemoHIM the most. Tomorrow I go to Seoul, and whenever I travel, I take 2 pouches like this one, these 2 bags. And this one I was carrying with me for 10 years, and it got worn out because I was carrying this with me every day, and my wife bought this back for me. This one is really expensive. I didn't want this, but anyway, my wife bought this for me. So as you can see here, I have all these cosmetic products inside my bag. This is hair oil, essential oil. I put this on my hair and face every day. Toner. And this toner is really amazing. And sometimes I put the toner as like double layer. It's better than other essence, and I use all these products. Serum, and this is eye cream. I use a lot of products from Atomy. So when you apply BB cream, you first need to apply eye cream before you put BB cream. So you need to put eye cream all over your face and put some BB cream and mix the eye cream with BB cream. And at first, it will whiten your face, and to really make your face glossy, you need to keep rubbing your face with your hands, but still it will look kind of white, and you need to clean the hands with some towel and apply the cream again. Then you will get the perfect tone you want. So until you get the tone, keep rubbing your face with your hands. So it has massaging effect and it makes your face glossy. But sometimes people are only applying the BB cream and they look so white. So it's better to mix together with the eye cream. So there's booster and toothbrush. So these are the products that I'm using. And there's one more bag. And this is health supplement. There are so many inside this bag. This is propactamine. I love this. 2 tablets a day. 2 a day. But I'm taking 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. And this is smart memory. This is to boost memory. And this one, eye health was on tin. So because I look at the phone a lot, I need to look at the screen and I feel my eyes are dry. But after I started taking this, I don't have that anymore. Spirulina and good sleep lactium before I go to bed so that I can have a sound sleep. And biotin. For those of you who have hair loss, who have breaking nails, you need to take this biotin. And ginkgo and natto, this is really good for your blood circulation. And also palmiton. So I'm getting all these days, so I need to take all these health supplements. So I'm taking these 2 bags with me all the time. And when I'm taking all these pills together, people ask me, is it okay to take all those things at the same time? Yeah, of course it's okay. It should be included in the food, but nowadays there are too many chemicals inside the food, so it doesn't have the nutrients that we need to take every day. So that's why I'm taking all these health supplements. So because I experienced the products myself, so when I feel tired and when I'm exhausted, then I take 2 more sachets of HemoHIM. And when I wake up in the morning, I feel much lighter. Sometimes I feel too energetic. Sometimes I cannot fall asleep. Then I can just work. I can write down the list and check the people on the list and check what I should do the next morning and read books. You need to read books. So buy at least 1 book a week and you read the book in that field. And if you want to have some expertise in that field, you need to buy 10 books and read them. And then decide whether you are going to go into that field. So if you really want to be the expert in that field, you should read at least 100 books. One day, I bought 23 books about stock market and I made up my mind I will not invest in stocks. So after that, I have no regrets. Even though some people say they made a really big success from the stock investment. So what do? I'm not a stock trader, but I will make the stocks and supply in the market. I'm the entrepreneur. That's what I'm doing. So about this entrepreneurship, I read at least 250 books. So life scenario and balanced life. You listen to my lecture for about 40 minutes. Actually, it's 50-hour lecture. So 10 hours a day, and it should be 5 days. 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the evening. So 10 hours of lecture, and you had to write down the life scenario all night long. We did that kind of training program, and there was one problem from that. People are not following because it's too complicated. And if some people can follow this, then I don't even need to teach them. So I need to make people who don't have potential to be successful. So those who already have high possibility to be successful will be successful even without my lecture. So starting from Stephen Covey and Carnegie and Zig Ziglar, Hiram Smith, I read all these people's books. I didn't study for exam at school, but I read all these books thoroughly, and I think somebody stole my book.
Just like that, I studied so much, I memorized everything, and for 50 hours straight, I was able to make a speech and give lectures. So, regarding HemoHIM, there will be a book about HemoHIM. Let's take a look at the book. Physical book. Looks good, right? So there will be two kinds of HemoHIM. The book will be as good as the HemoHIM, the product itself. It will be very easy to study and learn things about HemoHIM. So move to the next. The development story, the effects, efficacy, every detail about HemoHIM is in the book. Let's think about the CIS paper, research papers. How many are we? So 27 countries that HemoHIM ended up in, and I think it will be a dozen research papers. So writing one single research paper like that is world class, even one single paper. And there will be a big fuss about it with one research paper, but we have more than 10 of them. A lot of scholars, scientists have already proved the efficacy and effect of HemoHIM. So with the release of this book, what should you do? Study HemoHIM. So if you don't have much time, you have to be a doctor. You have to earn doctor's degree in HemoHIM. You have to be able to tell people everything and anything about HemoHIM. If you don't know how to do it, just memorize it, okay? You have to be able to explain about HemoHIM. So in sales area, there's a very famous saying. Write that down. So tell by characteristics, speak by characteristics, and sell by effects. So you have to explain about the characteristics, and in order to do that, you have to know the technical details. So you explain about them, but it's not enough. Those who make purchases will ask about the effects, the actual efficacy, and you need to feel the effects yourselves. I used to have fatigue, very severe fatigue, and now it's all gone, and I'm so energetic these days. You have seen me before. I used to be very tired every day, and now I'm very energetic. You can feel my energy from my face, right? I wasn't motivated enough before, and now I use these products and there are effects, visible effects that I myself am experiencing. Chairman was so passionate about all these details, and I think in summary it means we have to study. And there is a very famous lecture given by chairman, and I was very impressed when I first took a look at the lecture. So let's take a look. Our HemoHIM product, when you're dealing with the products, you have to be very careful. On news, on the internet, there are a lot of research papers, and we printed them out, and it was very thick. And so there were a lot of research and development. And if we follow the research paper, when you sell the products, you could end up in a jail. Anti-cancer, immunity enhancement, and hemopoietic system enhancement, etc. and etc. Health effects, but some of them should not be used, should not be spoken to other people. So on paper, they're all proven scientifically. And those who read the papers, they would want to talk about the effects, but it can go against the act of pharmacist, because if you sell pharmaceutical products individually, saying that these are very effective, if you do that, if you sell the products promoting the effects, it is against the law of pharmacists, because we need a license to be able to sell effective health functional foods. So we can sell health functional foods, but we are not allowed to talk about the scientific and medical effect. We can just say, we can only say that it can enhance our immunity. On papers, how about anti-cancer effects? Even if that is true, those who deal with the products are not official pharmacists, so they're not allowed to talk about the details like that. So even if you have read the details from research papers, scientific details, you are not allowed to speak out about it and sell them based on the scientific facts or scientific details. All right? So to doctors, so if doctors recommend patients to consume some of the functional foods, it's not against the law. But we are not allowed to do that because we are not doctors. We're not official pharmacists. Then how about immunity enhancement effect? We are allowed to say that, right? So immunity system protects us from outside. If immunity system breaks down, we will all die from a disease. But because we have an immunity system protecting us, we're able to be alive. Without immune cells, we will be infected and we will have inflammations and we will decompose. So in the stomach, there are hydrochloric acid that catches some of the bad materials, but in our gut and in our intestines, germs are protecting us. Bacteria are protecting us. So we have our immunity system. That is how we are able to avoid decomposing. If blood circulation stops, we will soon start decomposing. What does that mean? Immunity system has also stopped. And that is how our body works. So our body is maintained by our immune cells. And if we are to talk about the immunity system, there are a lot of difficult things and difficult factors to understand. So maybe let me make it simple. Let's think of immunity system as an army. So we have different levels, different grades. We have commander, right? That is lymphocyte, T lymphocyte. And officer, commissioned officer, B lymphocyte. And how about non-commissioned officer? We have macrophage. And we have soldiers. How about them? We have different kinds. It's just like army. We have a very systemized structure. And let's say the commander has different roles. He can actually shoot a gun against enemies. And how about T lymphocyte? T lymphocyte takes the role of identifying the enemy from our friendly forces. So the outside cells are also body cells. So there could be some circumstances where we attack allies. You have heard of rheumatism, right? Rheumatism is called autoimmune disease. It doesn't have many solutions because our body doesn't separate enemies from allies. So we attack allies. That is the autoimmune disease. Bone cells are sometimes identified as enemies, although they're allies. And our soft bones are more vulnerable. And that leads to the breakdown of our immunity system. That is rheumatism. And what is the difference between rheumatism and degenerative arthritis? Arthritis is happening with age, so it's different from rheumatism. So T lymphocyte is to identify enemies from allies. So there is one enemy coming into our body. Let's say there is a bacteria, typhoid bacteria. And there is this, the disruption happens. So within this cell, the DNA, RNA will be taken from inside. And there will be an analysis done by T lymphocyte. And T lymphocyte decides that there should be a special unit. So there's a command to the officer, commissioned officer. And there's a special unit created by the officer. And that is when the fight starts. And those special units, there are hundreds of thousands of units like them. And it is actually from the moment when we're born. And sometimes they are created only with mother's milk. Some immune cells are created only with mother's milk. And when can this be a problem? So the bacteria ends up in our body, we catch a disease, and that is why we sometimes need vaccination. There is DNA, RNA within the cell, and we found out that it's typhoid bacteria. So we have a special unit already established, right? So that typhoid bacteria, if it comes into our body next time, it is fought against based on the previous experience. And that is how we get the shot, get vaccination. So there's a bacteria, we make analysis, and while we do that, the bacteria can spread across our body. That is how we get a disease. So there's a special unit created, the immune cells per se. They are basophilic, and other parts, and the commander's role is very important in this process. How about macrophage? It has a machine gun, let's say. So a lot of pathogens and the growing cancer cells can also be caught by this macrophage. And while doing that, what will happen? It can explode.
So the explosion from this is pus, and cells is a type of white blood cells. So the pus looks like something like white one. So when there's scar, they tell you to touch it after it has the pus, so that we need to be putting some disinfectant to remove the bacteria on the surface. But the bacteria that's already inside the scar is removed by the macrophage. They eat up all these germs and they explode and die. So when the scar gets pus, it means that the white blood cell ate up all these germs and the war has ended. So if you take up the pus, then the germ will not come inside, and the new the skin will come up. So this eosinophil, it has little rifle and they shoot at the enemy and make them explode. But normal cell, after they multiply, their growth will stop. For example, the cells that comprise the nose, if they keep multiplying, and everyone will look like Pinocchio. But after a certain period of time, they will stop growing. But there are some cells that do not get the comment from the commander. These are the cancer cells. They keep multiplying. If you look at the microscope to look at the cells to see how they are multiplying, they are like exploding. But the immune system, if you look at how they attack the cancer cells, is as if the hunting dogs going after the wild pig and they eat up the macrophage, and these eosinophils, they are taking up all these cells. So these immune cells, the macrophages, there are a lot of them inside the nose. So when there are some bacteria coming inside the nose, they eat up all these germs. Then why do we have rhinitis? So the immune cells and the outside germ cells, if there's unbalance between them, then they will be having some toxins and it will cause inflammation. So if we reinforce the immune cells, then we can cure the inflammation. So to reinforce the immune cell is critical to protect our health. HemoHIM cannot directly heal cancer. You shouldn't be saying that HemoHIM can cure cancer. But if you take HemoHIM, it can help reinforce your immunity. That's what we need to say to other people. So then the person maybe will understand what immunity is about and take HemoHIM. So what we need to be saying is that it can help enhance the immunity. It can help multiplying the NK cell. So this has been proven by the Fair Trade Commission. It can help multiply the cytokine. So cytokine plays a key role in working the immune cells, and cytokine would be a hot issue in the medical field. And HemoHIM has been proved by the KFDA to help multiply the cytokine. So if you search about cytokine, you will see tons of information about that, very amazing facts about them. Let's look at the research papers about HemoHIM. HemoHIM was developed by the Atomic Research Institute, and there was clinical trial from the Atomic Research Hospital, and there was R&D for 8 years as a national product, and it went through US FDA. And what this means is that there's no problem from taking this health supplement, and this is #1 registered health supplement as the individual ingredient. This means that there's a brand new health supplement in the world. For example, vitamin, there's already criteria in the FDA. So if there are certain grams of vitamin included, will get the approval. But HemoHIM, there's no criteria from the FDA, but still it improves the immunity. So we asked the FDA to set the new criteria and give the approval. So this is the first ingredient that asked for the approval from the FDA, and one of the directors from FDA became the member of our company, and as he was working for the FDA, he never saw any other health supplement to be recognized as the individual ingredient. So it's really an innovative case. After HemoHIM, there were some cases like that, so we are #1. So people from the FDA and this medical field, they recognize that this truly is an amazing product. And we also got this registered as the immunity patent. So we got the approval from the US FDA. So it shows that there's no issue with the product. As you can see here, this is the sample ID. HemoHIM project name is Jeong. That's the director of the Atomic Research Institute back then. And many patents are registered for HemoHIM in Korea and overseas. And there are some parts where we can say and something that we cannot say. We can use the word immunity, but we cannot use the word it helps forming the blood, and we cannot use this word. So this is the name of the patent, the radioactive protective extract. And anti-cancer, no, you can never use this term to describe HemoHIM. And immunity and blood formation, in fact, this is what you can use. So at first it was like the Korean Oriental medicine, but this is really highly enriched extract, and the price is really low. At first it was like 770,000 for 60 sachet, but now if you buy 4 sets, it's only 10% of them. So 76,500 won. We reduced the price for this product. And some people ask, why is it 54 sachets? It's not like I took 6 out of the 6 sachets, but actually it was 30 sachets, and we increased this to 48, and we wanted to get more sachets. And our CEO Kim, I asked him to increase the number of sachets in one box. So maybe we can increase the size of the box a little bit, and maybe we don't need to pay more for that. So maybe we can do that in the same price. So I asked him to increase small number of sachets in the box. Now we have bigger tank, so now we have lower COGS. So it's not really for me, it's for like consumers who are suffering from some diseases, and these people, the sick people, they don't have money. I don't know why they develop the disease, because they are poor, or it's because of the disease that they got poor. So anyway, I increased the number of sachets in the box, 18 more, and then some more. So now we ended up at 54 sachets in the box. So I'm trying to make it 60 sachets a box. I'm trying to persuade them, but the price of the dongcha is like 2 times, 3 times higher, and you know when the price of the produce goes up, and some people will harvest more of that, and then the price will go down. So I'm waiting for the price to go down. So when the price of the produce goes down, I will try to convince the director to increase more sachets in the box, like 60 sachets a box. Yeah, it's really amazing. He increased the number of sachets in the HemoHIM box. He really gave a great lecture. Maybe we need to listen to his lecture on the product. Nowadays, we have the doctor who is delivering the lecture. So back then, there was no other person to give the lecture. So I had to study myself and deliver the lecture. I don't know anything about cytokine or natural killer cell before I got to know about HemoHIM. But to sell HemoHIM, I had to study. So I started and read books from the medicine. But I couldn't really memorize a lot. But I'm not really that much sophisticated. But with that lecture, I believe many people bought HemoHIM because of this. Okay, thank you. So to deliver the lecture, I heard that our chairman read so many books, starting from some cartoons and many other books, and I could see that why he became such a great entrepreneur and founder. And maybe any recommendation on how to give a great lecture for our leaders? He really gave a great lecture. He did all these things for us. And after I listened to his lecture back then, I thought maybe my cancer would not recur. I was a cancer patient before, and it was really effective for me. After taking HemoHIM, I forgot that she was a cancer patient in the past. Right. So because I experienced the good effects of the product myself, I can truly deliver the message to other consumers. So that's the most effective way of delivering the product. But I saw the good advantage from the product. all the time, but sometimes partners are saying that I cannot believe you because you say all the products are great. But I really mean it because I use the product after I study about them. And during the seminar, I really focus on the product lecture and I really paid attention to the lecture of the chairman, and I was really convinced of the effects of the product, and it was really was effective for me when I used the product. So I think it's because I was really sincere um, about these products because I experienced the products myself. And when you have this sincerity, then you can have confidence when you're trying to introduce the product to other people. So your experience should come first when you're trying to deliver the product to other people.
It's late at night. We have to study, right? And we don't have much time. We're very busy. One of my partners sold the products very well. Just use it, bitch. She was saying things like that to other people. It was from the sincere hurt. That's how she was able to sell a lot of products really well. And chairman also frequently says similar things about products. There are a lot of products in Atomy. Product lines are various these days, 600 product lines, and I don't really have a lot of knowledge about products these days compared to before because I am only at vision lectures. And when you do your business, there could be some situations where you still have to learn about what kind of products there are at Atomy. So 20 to 30 products. And among the products, I used this product and it was really good. And I was really happy with the product. So by exchanging those feedbacks, it will be very useful. So you are the owner of of the supermarket. So you have to confirm what you're selling. Okay? Is that clear? Let's start with ourselves. One thing to add. My skin conditions have changed. Actually, in the past, my skin conditions and were very poor. So if you use Atomy Absolute for only 1 month, it's already patented, right? The technology is proven. So you use it for 1 straight month, give them back to us. We will get you a refund. We are very proud to say that our Absolute products are best quality. And I've been saying this over and over again until now. Nobody wanted a refund. So just like our masters told us, we have to be very confident about products. This ends our talk show. Thank you very much.